Hey everybody, it's Vallen from Mischief of Mice, here with another bit by bit on Thaumcraft 4. Today we're going to be covering the Focal Manipulator. Well, maybe a few other things as well, but primarily the Focal Manipulator. This is a Focal Manipulator. It can be found in your Thaumcraft, under Thaumaturgy, on the top left corner, right here. It's made, as such, a little bit challenging, but not too bad. And it essentially is kind of an enchanting table for your wand foci. Also, as a side note, it's a good idea to make yourself one of these, a Amulet of V storage, as I am wearing one right now. And in fact, it slowly will recharge your wand that you currently have equipped. And it's just really handy, especially when you're doing demonstrations like this, to have something constantly recharging your wand. But enough with that. Let's get on with the Focal Manipulator. So with this, as I was saying, it's similar to an enchanting table for wand foci. So I actually have, let's see here, in my pouch, a singular wand foci. So the idea is you take a wand focus, put it in here, and it will tell you you can have up to 5 different or similar enchantments on the wand focus, which will enhance it in some way, shape, or form. You will have your selection down at the bottom, and it will require V from probably an energized node in order to, or I think it's Centi-V is what it's called at that point once it's been energized. And you will then also need to donate experience, 8 levels times the number of the enchant level. So level 1 you'll need 8, 2 you'll need 16, 3 you'll need 24, 4 you'll need 32, 5 you'll need 40. It's quite expensive when you really get up there, but sometimes it's worth it for just the convenience of it. But you essentially pick the enchantment you want, and then it shows the cost involved on here, as well as your experience cost. And then you just click the Start Upgrade button, and you can see it's actually going right now. And when it's done, which will just be another second or so, there we go. It then goes up to the next level, options, and asks if you want to continue with that. And you can see now it currently has potency, which I'll explain what the different things are you can put on each one here. So let's start on the right. And we've got your wand focus of fire, which is a plain wand focus, you know, nothing fancy here. It's just an area of fire is spewed out. It will do damage and also light your targets on fire at the same time. Now, if you upgrade it, you can get potency and frugal. Oh wait, you know what? Let's pause for a second. Let's go over here and explain the different basic enchants you can put on there. Frugal is you will decrease the V cost by 10% per level added. So if you see here, it says 0.09 in the top left corner there. What that means is it costs 0.09 per, I believe it's per tick and not per second, to cast this. Maybe it's per second, I can't really tell. But so it will decrease the cost by 10%. And if you upgrade that, you know, several times, then it's really, really cheap. Potency, increase the damage or mining speed. Usually that's a 20% increase, depending upon the item or whatever it is you're doing. But so if it's doing, you know, 1 heart of damage, it will do 1 and, you know, 1/5 hearts of damage per hit, whatever. You know, so if you're doing 10, then you'll do 12, etc. Also, it will, like for mining speed, it will end up increasing how fast you end up mining stuff. And I'll actually show you demonstrations of these. Treasure is very similar to luck or looting. It's just Thaumcraft's version that works only for wand foci. Enlarge is area of effect is increased, and that kind of varies depending upon the item. So I will actually have to show you how that works. But some of them, it's very straightforward. Extend increases the duration. Now that's very specific. There are 1 or 2 that will use that in different ways, but it's pretty much just extends how long it lasts. And then you've got Silk Touch, which is exactly the same as the Silk Touch in the regular ones. The reason that Silk Touch is in there is because some of the blocks, like a Wand of Equal Trade foci, when used, will, on, say, a diamond block, will actually give you diamonds and not the block itself, unless you Silk Touch it. So, those are the standard ones, but each one foci may have a special 1 or 2 or even 3 extra enchants that you can have on just that specific wand focus. But let's continue on with fire. You see here potency and frugal. So you can make it cheaper to use. You can make it more damaging to use. Fireball, Fire Beam, and Alchemist Fire are special options only usable on the fire, or on the is it fire? I can't remember. Oops. Or is it flame? Fire. On the fire focus. So, but how it works, as you were seeing before, when I was using this one, you only had your choice of frugal and potency on level 1. Level 2, I now have a choice of Alchemist Fire. Now, at certain levels, certain other options will be available. Like level 3 is when you get to your choice of Fireball or the Fire Beam. So you will sometimes have to make a choice of one or the other. Other times you'll be able to combine some of them together, like Alchemist Fire is an option for, I believe, 2 of the levels on there. So to explain what each of those abilities are, Fireball, you shoot an exploding fireball. So let's grab one that has Fireball. You know what, let's just grab them both. Why not? And let's see, that's your standard. There's the Fireball. And this one also has Alchemist Fire on it. So it will extend the duration of the fire, and it will set blocks on fire that it is nearby. So actually, I'm going to do this in the desert just so it doesn't burn up the entire forest. But you see, it will set things on fire because this has the Alchemist Fire on it as well. Otherwise, it would just be a non-terrain damaging fireball that would damage enemies. Now, I'm sure some of you remember my little traveling trunk friends here, and I would launch this at them, but the fire might end up killing them in the end. So I'll probably do it a little closer. There we go. Got one of them. And actually, I think they might be immune to fire. That's good. So there you go. It does a little bit of damage to them. I think it does like about 9 or 10 there. I think I've got some potency on this one. Now the other one, Fire Beam, you shoot a beam of fire. That one, let's see, there it is, Fire Beam. Now these do have some potency levels on them as well, and they both have the option where you can set things on fire. So it's just a straight beam of fire, so you have a more focused attack instead of it being all spread out or a huge area. So if you're partying with friends or something, it would probably be less damaging to them, though you probably don't want the Alchemist Fire option on there unless they have some kind of fire immunity going on. But as you can see here, oops, if I don't end up actually yeah, I guess these guys are immune to fire of some sort. But for regular mobs, I think I've got some cows over here. There we go. There you go. It's quick and killer. Alright, so let's get on to the next one here. Shock. So this one here, you can get potency and frugal. Just makes it cheap, as well as chain lightning, earth shock, and enlarge. Which enlarge only works especially on chain lightning or earth shock. Does not work on the regular zap of the wand focus. So there's your regular zap from the shock focus here. Let's grab these. And chain lightning. It's a little bit slower to use than this one, but it does more damage, and it will hit up to 3 targets, which I think is fantastic. But if you're playing with friends, be aware it will chain to them. If you're playing with allies next to you, like these guys, it will chain to them. If you've got livestock nearby and a creeper comes in, it will chain to them. So it can have some big negative effects if you don't want to hit multiple targets. Earth Shock, it will toss a lightning ball, similar to the fireball, onto the ground and leave an electrified ground in the area. And that lasts for a long time. It will go away eventually, but it lasts for what seems like forever to me. And then, of course, Enlarge will only work on these. Enlarge will essentially make Chain Lightning hit, I believe, up to 5 targets, depending upon how many times you use it. And then Earth Shock will make the area of effect on the ground even bigger. So let's try some of these out here. We've got, let's do Chain Lightning. Oh, wait, that one's Enlarge. Let's do, yeah, Chain Lightning's on here now. So here we go. There we go, and that hit 5 targets, as you can see. Pretty darn cool. Let's try Earth Shock. Actually, that one I think had Enlarge on it as well. Earth Shock, you can see it electrifies the ground in an area, and if these guys weren't immune to some of that effect, it would probably hit them. So let's actually try it on this iron golem I have over here. And I missed him. There we go. Now, he was already hit before, but you can see he took some damage from that. The area around him is electrified, so if he continues walking, he may set off those ground traps that are left in the area. So it's pretty cool like that. And let's see here. Oops. Well, you just saw... Well, let's do regular Chain Lightning with my trunk volunteers here. And you see it only hits 3. So when it hit 5 before, that had Enlarge on it. So that's pretty darn cool, especially if you want to hit lots of bad guys, or you're expecting a swarm to come after you, or some kind of boss that will have lots of bad guys nearby. So next one, 9 Hells. This one is only available, I believe, in the Eldritch tab, or am I mistaken? I am mistaken. That is on the regular Thaumaturgy tab. It's just, oh, that's it. It's just Forbidden Knowledge, Minor Forbidden Knowledge. And this is one of the foci that I did not talk about before. It's made as such. You have to unlock this research as you progress. And essentially, you shoot a little bat bomb. So let me grab one of these. And if I just use it now, nothing happens. You can see that the timer is resetting in the top left corner. You have to have a target in order to use it. So let's go find one of these guys. No, let's not use a trunk, because they just, the bat will continue attacking it. There we go. Go get him. And of course, it being a golem, he just kind of one-shots it. So let's kill off one of our trunks here. Don't worry, I can make more. You can see the bat just relentlessly will keep attacking. So the bat itself has like practically no health. It has like 3 hearts, maybe 4? Yeah, 3 hearts. So unless you end up intervening and taking action, it's just going to keep attacking the target until the target's dead. Then the bat will expire. Now the other options on this are bat bombs, devil bats, and vampire bats. Bat bombs are bats that explode on contact, and they will explode in a larger radius. And what that means is if you have experienced fire bats in the Nether, you know that they do explode on occasion when coming into contact with you. This will be a larger radius than that. Devil bats, they're bigger and tougher and faster bats, but there are no explosions. So you don't need to worry about them hurting an area of effect. Vampire bats will, this is part of research that you have to do in the Thaumonomicon, which is up here. Once you unlock that, then you could use, then you can get it from the enchanter there. But they return the target's health on attacking. So let's do this. We've got bat bombs. Let's do bat bombs. All right, here we go. I'm going to target this guy here. And you can see it's quite an effect. It hit a lot. I think it hit all of these guys. So it's a bit dangerous on occasion, though, it being explosions. But hey, who doesn't want bat bombs? Now, devil bats. This one's much bigger, if you notice. He's the same size as the trunk. And he's got still 3 health, but they are tougher. I think they might have some kind of armor rating or something, but my staff is still pretty strong and going to kill them with one hit anyway. So I don't know if that one's worth it as much, unless you just don't want the explosion, which might be beneficial to you. But yeah, there you go. And of course, vampire bats, it's just one of these with they return health as they do damage. So I didn't really bother to mess with that one. A lot of Bottle O enchantings were used in this level. All right. Well, I guess I could have cheated myself experience now that I think about it. Oh, boy, that would have saved me probably an hour's worth of time. Anyway, moving on. We've got Frost, for those that don't remember. Let's give a demonstration here. And essentially you shoot a little ball that bounces and does damage. And you can actually end up shooting, and it goes... Yeah, I thought that it would hurt you, actually. Let me see if it hurts yourself in the process. Yes, it does hurt yourself in the process if you hit yourself. So be fully aware of that. But the Frost one, you can do Potency and Frugal, as usual. So far, they've all been able to make more damaging and cheaper to use. But this one has Alchemist Frost, which is similar to the Alchemist Fire, but instead of setting them on the terrain on fire, it will actually give one level of slowness, Scattershot, and Ice Boulder. And the Alchemist Frost, as I said, adds a level of slowness. You have at least 2, maybe 3 options to add that on there. Scattershot, it turns your one ball into a lot of them, essentially. And they do a little bit less damage each, but if you hit all of them together, it's just like a shotgun blast. Then you've got Ice Boulder, which is a very large boulder that does a lot of damage, but it will also bounce around. So keep in mind, any of the Frost ones will bounce around quite a bit. So let's put on one of those here. Let's see, Ice Boulder. And you can see it's much bigger. And it bounces. Ooh, but it will come back to hit you as well. Now let's try the other one. There we go. This one has the alchemy bonus on it. Let me get to the other side here so I can stop pushing these guys away. And you can see a whole bunch of shards shot. Yeah, it can do some serious damage to you as well. And I've got the slowness effect on me, which I also have a haste effect going on at the same time, so it doesn't affect me as much as it normally would. But there you go. It's really cool seeing it, though. Yeah. And it does go quite a distance, and it's very entertaining when you shoot it at a hungry node. You can see the shards just going everywhere. Anyway, enough of the distraction. Let's get on to the next one. The Focus of Equal Trade. Now this one here is one of my personal favorites. I really love this one. Let's put that on here. And if you notice, I have an infinite diamond ore block in my inventory. So you take your wand of wand Focus of Equal Trade, and you notice at the top left corner it says sand. Well, right now I'm going to shift right click, and it now says diamond blocks. So anything that I click on, it's going to exchange for a diamond block in an area. And I find that to be very useful. And if I want to switch it back, I just shift right click a bit of sand, and it all turns back. It's very, very handy. But you notice I now have diamonds in my inventory. I didn't before. The reason being is that it will actually not change once upon a time, it used to like silk touch these, like pick them up as is out of the ground, and it was a bit cheaty. So it's been fixed since then. Now it will actually act like it's mining the block. It is a really good way of getting obsidian out of the ground. Don't get me wrong, but it is a little more, a little less cheaty than it used to be. Now on this though, you can get frugal and enlarge, so it makes it cheaper. Enlarge will make it affect a larger area. Treasure, which when using it on things like ore blocks, it will actually end up giving you the option of getting like that luck or looting option as if you were mining it. Dowsing, oops, that's the wrong one. Architect and silk touch. Silk Touch, of course, you get the exact block that it is instead of mining it up. And Architect allows you to see what you're going to exchange and has adjustable options. This one, I can't see passing this one up in any way, shape, or form if you're gonna start enchanting your Wand of Equal Trade. So let me grab the foci here, and let's switch to it. And you notice now it has a little user interface on the ground of the area that it's affecting. Now if I press the G button, which is the default key for what it's assigned to, it will expand and just cycle through the different sizes that you can have this thing change to, which is fantastic. I mean, let's just see so much awesomeness going on here. This is just crazy. This is a builder's dream right there. And then you can also change it to just be, whoops, you know, one at a time if you like, or so on. Let's change it. I just love this wand. It's great for building. So if you end up making a really cheap, like, wooden house at the early on, and then you end up getting some really nice building materials later, and you regret your decision, you can just exchange it out instead of having to knock down and rebuild the entire thing. One of my favorites. Definitely one of my favorites. All right. Next, we've got the Wand of Excavation, or excuse me, the Foci of Excavation. This one here, excuse me, is Potency and Frugal. And Potency, in this case, it will increase the mining speed. Enlarge works pretty good, but not as well as I was hoping it would. Treasure, as explained before, adds a looting or luck effect to the digging. Dowsing, which I'll explain in a second, and Silk Touch. So it's got a lot of options on this one. Dowsing means that you might get native ore clusters when mining. So, for those that don't remember, let's grab this core here. And we're just going to start. It mines pretty darn quick. I mean, this is sand, but I mean, that's basically what it is. It's a remote mining option. You can mine quite a distance with this. Let's see here. There you go. That's just to show you how far away you can mine with this. Pretty cool. Now, if you, get yourself some of these extra ones. Let's see, we've got one with Potency. Now, you saw how fast I was mining before. This is fully upgraded, so it just goes insane fast. I mean, it's really, really good stuff. But if you end up switching it to the other that I have, there we go. This one has Potency, Enlarge 2, and Dowsing, and Silk Touch. So, Silk Touch, meaning I would get this back. And you can see it there. It actually remained the diamond block. But you notice it only mined one area. Well, let's get to a spot where I can actually show this off a bit. Here we go. Now you notice it has Enlarge on it. It will actually kind of randomly mine out next to where you're mining. It doesn't like do a 3x3 or something like some other mods may end up doing. It will actually just randomly kind of pull out of there. So it's similar to the arcane bore in that aspect, where it will kind of do a little bit of a spiral effect around the beam. So not as helpful as I thought it would be, but it is pretty cool. It will definitely speed up your mining if you're trying to make a bigger area work for you. So, and of course you might get native ore clusters from that. I'm not going to try and go through that one. So, on to the next one. We've got Primal. Now, I did not cover this one before. This one is a bit dangerous, and you notice it's actually not listed here. I think this is the one. Yep, there it is, on the Eldritch tab. And this one is a bit expensive, but and it's not my style of a wand core because it's so risky. But let me switch my game mode here. I will show you why. It is slow to shoot. It will shoot essentially little balls of stuff and explode, which is cool. I mean, it totally looks awesome. but it will on occasion leave taint on the ground around it, or it may also have, with a very, very slight chance of making a node. I recommend not shooting it into the water because then it takes like half a day for it to reach the bottom or something. But I mean, you can see I shot those. It's a bit slow. Yeah. So, there you go. It's pretty cool though. Neat stuff. Hello, hungry node. And the option on this one you have, you can make it frugal, cheaper to use, or you could add seeker, which seeker makes it seek out the nearest target, and it will no longer leave taint or a possibility of nodes. So let me grab this one here, and let me launch it that way. And you can see it made a left turn and down and came back to hit these guys. So instead of it just slowly shooting off into the distance, it actually homed in on a target and then went after them. So definitely a cool one though. Now we go with Petch's Curse. I did not cover this one before either. And you're not going to actually find the Petch's Curse in the Thaumonomicon. It's nothing you can research. You have to either trade for it from a Petch Mage or kill a Petch Mage and get it as a drop. And I think I might be able to summon one in. Let's see. Pig, Petch Forager. You know, Petch Forager sounds close enough to me. Let's get rid of all these diamonds. Don't need those. Alright, Petch Forager. That, whoa, is a Petch. For those that are curious what one looks like. And they do have a trading option if you can right-click them. Well, actually, you can't just right-click them randomly. You have to give them treasure, which they will pick up, and which I should have kept those diamonds now that I think about it. Let's just grab a bunch anyway. Not one. I want more than that. There we go. Dude, where'd you go? Well, anyway, usually they'll just come and pick it up. I can't even pick it up. And they might find that of interest. Let's see here. Yeah, you got the little green sparkle above him. Then you can trade with him. You put things in here and you get roll the die and you get a random chance of getting different stuff. You're going to want one that's going to be a mage, specifically to get the Petch's Curse foci. Thank you. That's enough. They're also very difficult to kill. They're usually pretty strong, and they will fight back quite violently, so you're going to want to keep that in mind. But otherwise, they're peaceful. Petch's Curse. So let's grab one of these. And what it usually does is it will give poison, weakness, and slowness randomly to a target that you hit with it. So there we go. It has one of those effects on it now. I can't really see it. I can't hit myself either. But you get the idea. The other one, potency and frugal, of course, make it more damaging, and frugal to make it cheaper. Extend to make the conditions last longer, and nightshade, which all of poison, weakness, and slowness happen all together. So it's a triple hit instead of just the singular random chance on there. Let me get this one. Oh, I didn't enchant it after all. Well, either way, it's just, it gives all three effects because I can't really display them on those. I don't have the bar on there, but take my word for that. All right, then we have the portable hole, another one of my favorites. The idea is take this and you'll create a hole through one area into another. Now, if it's a complex machine, it may not work. Let's see if I can just make some. There's a tree. There we go. That should work all right. So you can walk through it, Get to the other side. It works well on like getting around your base if you need to get through a ceiling or something. But if you use it on areas like this, you can see it kind of makes a pit, but that pit leads down and ends only after about like 10-15 blocks or so, and it ends up just going nowhere. And when it seals itself back up, you'll be stuck in that space suffocating. So you're going to want to be careful that you don't go too far. Now you can make it frugal, which will make it cheaper to use. Enlarge, which doesn't mean it will make a bigger hole, it will make a longer hole, which is really cool. And extend, which will end up making the hole stay there longer. And I have examples of these so that you can see. Let's see here. Let's try enlarge. So to give you an idea, wait, let's do the standard one first. We're going to hover and aim down. And you can see it goes down so far. You can see something a little bit further down there, but let's just make it so that you can enlarge. We'll go a very much further distance way down there, and now you can see clearly at the bottom, but you might not make it there before that thing ends. So you can extend as well, and this isn't going to reach that same distance, but you can see that it's hanging around. It's giving you plenty of time to get through there. So these are some really useful options for the wand of the foci of portable hole. All right, and oh, where'd my warding one go? Oh, there it is. Well, we're going to take the wand of warding anyway, or the regular one. Let's see. Last one is warding. Now, I don't know that I actually ended up covering this one before either, so I'm going to explain what it does. This one here, which frugal to make it cheaper, architect once again to gain options over where it affects. So you can ward an area. Let me get out of creative mode, and you can see that I can't hurt this ground no matter what. It is protected. Because I'm wearing my goggles of revealing, I can see it. Oops, and because I'm holding the wand, that's what it is. But without it, you can't see it, and you can't break those blocks through normal means. So it's pretty cool. It makes blocks blast resistant. It does not work on all blocks, but it does work on most. So keep in mind that if you're trying to ward a bunch of glass blocks around a hungry node so that they don't get sucked in or something, it's not going to work like that because glass blocks can't be warded. Yeah, kind of sad like that. But anyway, it would make things difficult for converting it into a node as it is. So if I were to switch with the frugal architect with enlarge on it, once again pressing G, I can extend the area that I affect. Boom, the entire area is now warded. And I can change it back. Yeah, it's pretty cool. There we go. Oops. Very, very neat stuff. So you can blast proof your entire house so that you know, creepers don't come by and start destroying your stuff by accident, or if you're playing like an Advent of Ascension type, you know, there's lots of explosive bad guys nearby that this can protect your place from, so that you don't lose your stuff from some random dynamite guy coming in and just wrecking your place. Let's go back over this. I'm sure some of you have noticed I have a very large area here with a lot of energized nodes. Reason being is if I were to, oops, oh, no wonder, I'm in the wrong game mode. If I were to go back to the base where I have a singular energized node, oops, right here, and I have a singular one of these hooked up, you'll notice this one actually has a lot of stuff on it. Let's take one that hasn't been enchanted, Wand of the Petrified Curse, and I want this. It doesn't cost much. You know, let's do this one. It takes a little longer. Watch how slow it goes. You see it's like 0.1 per second or something. Really slow stuff. Now, if I go to an area that has a lot of energized nodes, like I have set up here in this demonstration, which I do not recommend because my frame rate drops considerably from this effect. But choose something like this. And actually, how many levels do I have? Oh, I've got plenty. All right, so if I choose this, you see that happened in no time. Let's choose another level. And this one. You can see how quickly this goes. I've already gone like almost 3 levels, and the other one's probably only just finishing now. So that's just something for knowledge's sake. I mean, you don't have to do this in this way, but it can be of use to you if you have multiple energized nodes. And you notice none of them are actually hooked up. They're just within range of it, and it automatically pulls from it. So you don't even have to have it actually hooked up. And that's how this one worked as well. It was actually within range of a bunch of these when I used it at the beginning of the video. So that's it. If anybody have any comments on this, please feel free to put them in on the comments below the video. Give me a like, comment as usual, or subscribe. And until next time, see ya. Oh dear.